Hey fellas, today I'm going to show you how to make this whirly portal using noise texture and also animated using drivers. Okay, so let's get on with it. Open a new Blender file, delete the default cube, Shift A, go to Mesh, Circle, press numpad 7, scroll inwards to get a better view, then press S to scale on the x-axis, so press X, scale it and make it elliptical. Okay, then after that press tab to go to edit mode and press E to extrude, and then right click to put it in place so it will be on the same place as we extruded. Now you can move it, but we want to move it inwards, so press S and then scale it downwards. Okay, um, put it around like this. Okay, and then press F to fill the remaining area. Okay, now go to face select mode and select this center face, and then press P and then separate by selection. Now what this will do is basically separate the two meshes. Okay, I'm gonna create a new collection here with name it as mesh, and then select both of these meshes and drag it over here. Okay, just to put everything in place. All right, now next thing we want to do is use the pixel rendering add-on that I showed you in my previous video. So I'll put a link to it in the description, and so you can check it out. So if you've set everything up, you can press N and go to pixel render, then render settings to adjust the camera's focal length, and then have the mesh selected. Select the outer ring. Okay, I'm gonna make outer ring and inner ring. Okay, so select the outer ring, which is this one, and click on create slash reset material. This will create a pixelated material, and assign the material by going to shading, then click on the drop down and select the pixel art symbol. Okay, this will be the outer ring. Right, great. Let's go to render view here, and this is the preview. However, it doesn't look all that fancy. Let's add the trilight. Okay, press N. Okay, let me go to layout here. Press the trilight setup. Okay, now if you go, you'll see pixelated material, and also press numpad 0 to go to render camera mode. You'll see it's not in the correct position. So to have the camera adjust to the current view, you have to press Ctrl Alt 0. What this will do is set the camera's position to the current view in the viewport. Alright, now drag it a little bit behind. Okay, and this is what's shown right here. Now let's adjust the lights here. Okay, the lights are kind of up, so drag them around. Okay, now if you notice that the center one has no material but is affected by the red, green and red lights. Okay, so we haven't added any material to this ring yet, so let's do that. Go to shading, click on the drop down, and I'm gonna create a new pixel material for this. Okay, so before we do that, make sure that you have rename the outer ring material. Okay, if you didn't, then it will just override the current one. Also, you can change the colors here. Okay, so based on, if you observe here, the colors that are affected are this one, so change this and this as well. Okay, make it a bit darker to make it look better. Okay, yeah. Okay, now drag them around and tweak around here. Right, And also you can add a bloom effect, okay, to brighten things up. Yeah, that's about it. I think it's a bit too dark. Yeah. Okay. Um, that's the whole point. You can, add any colors you want. Okay. I'm gonna put a link to the file as well. Okay, and my Gumroad link. Okay, but for now, let's focus on the inner ring. Okay, this is the main part of the tutorial. So click on create slash reset material, go to shading, click on the drop down and select this one. Okay, the newly created material. And I'm gonna name this inner ring. Okay, after that, we'll have the material as it is. Okay, what we are gonna manipulate is the noisy value. So I'm gonna add a Morgrave texture with, yeah, Masquerade texture. It's called. Okay, so I'm using a Masquerade texture. You can use any noise texture you want. Okay, it's totally up to you. Then I'm gonna go ahead and this Masquerade texture doesn't have any colors yet. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is add a color ramp. Okay. Color ramp, and make sure it's set to constant. Okay, let me report. All right, constant. All right, now to see the preview, you can press Control Shift and click on the color ramp to see what's going on with the masquerade texture. And if you have the node wrangler add-on enabled, okay, go to Edit Preferences and enable the node wrangler. It's pretty useful to have it enabled. And press Control T, and what you'll get is two nodes, texture coordinate and mapping node. So for this tutorial, we'll be manipulating the mapping node where we can manipulate the location as well as rotation. Okay, and as you can see, the texture of the pixelated which we had before has been removed because we have this as the output. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is put it back again, okay, by pressing Control Shift and then click on Animation. Now, what I'm gonna do is mix both of them. Okay, so there is a cool little thing you can do by mixing them. Okay, the shortcut key for that is Control Shift, right click, and then click on the color ramp, and then this color ramp, and then boom, right? Cool. Now this will basically mix both of them. Okay. Now what I mean by mixing is that you can have them blended and stuff like that. So change mix to, I don't know, maybe lighten, okay, or maybe color dodge. Okay, that's what I was using. Okay, but yeah, put the factor all the way up. Okay, so the influence area of the masquerade texture is okay. Now let's go ahead and change the colors, something like this one also do. Now you can see that nothing's actually going on here. Let me just tweak around here a little bit. I think I should have done this one. Just interchange them. Okay, yeah, now it's showing it. So what's going on is that the influence of masquerade color ramp is most here. Okay, so yeah, we'll be manipulating this texture, and I know why. What's the point of having this? Um, it's, yeah, that's a good question. There is no point of having this actually. So maybe we can add this like this. Okay. and it will still show the same result. But why I'm mixing them, I'll show you later. Okay, has to do with blending two colors. Okay, so we have this pixelated color and a non-pixelated color mixed together. Okay, so we're gonna try to mix both of them. Right now, let's see here. Okay, I'm very sorry. I should have used a wave texture instead. Okay, because we are dealing with a wavy pattern. So create a wave texture, connect the vector, and then the color. Okay. Okay. Now you see these are lines here because it's set to bands, set it to rings. Okay. And then let's add some distortions to make it a little bit wavy. Now, after that, we're gonna manipulate with the rotation values. Okay, so it kind of looks kind of not too good. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is set the rings back to bands here because it looks a bit better, and then change the increase the distortions here to about 28. Okay, and then set the scale, lower the scale here. Okay, because we want it to be a little bit less distorted. There shouldn't be too much detail. If I increase the scale, it will increase the scaling of the texture itself into many wavy patterns. Okay, we don't want that. Okay, and then keep everything the same. All right, and if we manipulate with the rotation values, we get this kind of hazy pattern which we want. All right, now the one problem I'm facing right now is why the heck it's not blending, right? Yeah, well, okay, let's see. Yeah, I think this time it's somewhat blending, but I initially used color dodge here. Okay, so okay, so the problem was that I think I had to move around the colors here. Okay, before it was completely dark, and if you move it to a different color, it will color dodge it and blend the textures the according to this one. Okay, it will mix and match. Okay, so accordingly you can adjust the colors here. All right, and I added another color just for added effect. All right, now let's move on to the main part. Okay, make sure to ensure that the colors are matching so that the color dodge effect is proper. Now let's go ahead and add a driver. Okay, so for this we're gonna let me close this. Okay, then open a timeline. Why is it okay? Here we go. Now for animating or manipulating different values in, wait, where is it? Yeah, don't get confused by these. Okay, we're focusing on the wave texture here. Okay, so now we're going to be manipulating the mapping node here. Okay, and we'll be mostly concerned with the rotation, or if you want you can go ahead and do the X or Y according to you. Okay, so to what do we do to add a keyframe? Okay, so you gotta go over to the value which you want to manipulate and right click on it and click on insert keyframe. Okay, and what this will do, it will insert a keyframe right here, but it's inserting the keyframe for all of these. Okay, but for me I want to add keyframe for only the X value, not the whole rotation value. Okay, so what we're gonna do is insert single keyframe. That means it's gonna add a single keyframe for the X. I'm gonna have it at 40. Okay, And now let's go to 40 and increase it by around 29. Okay, and right click and insert single keyframe. Now what this will do, it will animate the whole thing, right? Now I want to reverse it. Okay, so increase the timeline by into 2. Okay, and then select this keyframe, press Ctrl D and place it on 80. What this will do, it will reverse the animation like like that. Okay, so yeah, that's about it. That's the whole process, and then you can render out like so, and you'll get this image. Okay, you can render animation as well, and the whole thing will be rendered out into separate images. Okay, and make sure to have film, then press transparent to add transparency if you're using it for anywhere else which requires transparent image for this case. Okay, so yeah, that's about it. That's how you make a coral shape. Okay, I know it looks kind of bad compared to the one I made here. Okay, so I'm gonna put a link to download this one because this one looks good. This is what I got when I was tinkering around and I wanted to share. So yeah, I'm gonna put a link to this file over here in my Gumroad, and you guys can download and manipulate the data in the mapping node or the color ramp as you wish. Okay, and yeah, that's about it. And I hope you guys learned how to use drivers here and inserting keyframes for the mapping node here. Okay, so yeah, and I'll see you guys on that's about it for the tutorial, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, bye bye.